Imagine sitting down at an upscale international restaurant. You scan the menu and order a spread of dishes with elegant, exotic-sounding names: a bowl of bibimbap, a plate of farfalle, and a slice of tiramisu. But if we strip away the foreign languages, you just ordered a bowl of mixed rice, a plate of butterflies, and a slice of pick-me-up. The names of the foods we eat every day aren't closely guarded cultural secrets. They are highly practical, entirely literal time capsules. By pulling apart these translations, we find a paper trail of bizarre coincidences, forgotten religious reformers, and accidental collisions of global trade. Take Italian pasta. We treat these words with culinary reverence, but the people who named them were calling it exactly as they saw it. You aren't eating spaghetti, you're eating little strings. Penne? Those are just quills. And gnocchi translates directly to knuckles. It's a functional system based on suffixes. Adding "any" means the object is small, while "oni" means it's large. There's a suffix for when you ruin a dish. Overcook your pasta? Attach "aci" to make spaghettacci, literally screwed up spaghetti. We see this exact same descriptive habit across East Asia. The Sino-Korean word for kimchi originally meant submerged vegetables, and bulgogi tells you exactly how it's cooked. It translates to fire meat. The Chinese dish byong-byong noodles takes this to the absolute extreme. The name is a literal onomatopoeia mimicking the heavy slapping sound the dough makes when the chef strikes it against the counter. The mystery we associate with foreign cuisine is almost always a byproduct of translation. Beneath the surface is a universal human habit to name things by what they look like, how they're cooked, or the sound they make. Other times, a famous dish gets its name from an individual who happened to be standing in a kitchen on a very specific day. In 1943, a maître d' named Ignacio Anaya was working near an American Army base in Texas. When he needed to quickly feed a group of visiting military wives, he threw some cheese and jalapenos on freshly fried tortillas. When asked what the dish was called, he used his own nickname, Nacho. We do this constantly, often defying the creator's original intentions entirely. The modern s'more is a decadent campfire treat built on the graham cracker, but Sylvester Graham was an 1800s Presbyterian minister who invented that cracker because he believed eating aggressively bland, whole-grain foods would suppress immoral urges. And then there's the sloppy joe. Its name originates with a Cuban bar owner named Jose Avael Otero, whose establishment in Havana was famously untidy. It became an American staple because the author Ernest Hemingway frequently drank there and later convinced a bar owner in Key West to rename his own pub Sloppy Joe's. We immortalize these people on our grocery store shelves and menus while completely erasing who they actually were and what they stood for. In The Boomerang Effect, the English word cutlet traveled to Japan. Japanese phonetics require breaking up consonant sounds, so cutlet morphed into katsuretsu, then katsu. Decades later, Westerners ordering chicken katsu unknowingly asked for a chicken cutlet. The Japanese dish tempura followed a similar route. It comes directly from the Latin word tempora, referring to the Catholic Ember Days. When Portuguese missionaries arrived in Nagasaki, they brought their tradition of eating battered, deep-fried vegetables on religious days when meat was strictly forbidden. This botanical illustration shows the okra plant, providing the linguistic root for Louisiana gumbo. In Louisiana, Choctaw tribes contributed ground sassafras to thicken the broth. French colonizers then described that distinct, ropey texture as filamenteux. The resulting dish carries West African, Native American, and French history in every single bowl. Its name is a living, edible map of migration, colonialism, and shared survival. Which brings us to the end of the meal. The word dessert doesn't actually describe the sweet food you eat. It comes from the French verb desservir, meaning to clear the table. Your dessert is simply the item you consume after all the other plates have been removed. Every item printed on a modern menu is the final product of centuries of linguistic drift and cultural exchange. When we read off these strange, beautiful, and sometimes brutally literal words, we are participating in a conversation that spans thousands of years of human history.